Alright, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple weeks since I've posted. I'm going to try to continue with the weekly to bi-weekly uploads, but it's a little bit easier to do them bi-weekly. I'm just trying to get the channel going, so I should be doing them weekly. You know what I mean? But today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different style video. Today we're going to be doing some wiring. I got a light bar from a friend of mine. His name's Shaggy. I used to work for him at an old job of mine. Great guy. Still talk to him today. He's I've got your back if you've got my back type guy. He's a good dude. Today we're going to be wiring up a light bar that he had given me. And thankfully, all of my wiring stuff is right here. Right here in the back of the car. There's my battery. Here, let me just... Oh yeah, that was broken when I bought the car. So I fixed that. Pretty cheap, you know. And there's the battery. So there's the headlight, or the tail light. With that being said, we need to tap into that wiring. So I'm going to make this easy on myself. I'm not going to take any of this apart, and we're just going to get in there. As you guys can see, I was already going to take this panel off, which you have to do to take the battery out. So, right, these screw in. Might as well screw them back in for you guys. These guys screw in here. I was going to take them out and take this whole back panel out, you know, but I don't think I'm going to need to do that. I was going to pull back this whole side piece here because that's what I had to do to put the new battery in, which I did put a new battery in because it was slow cranking. And so instead of pulling that whole thing back and wasting my time doing extra work, we're gonna just slide right in there and do the work we need to do. I gotta tap into a couple of those wires so that it goes with the blinkers, goes with the brake lights, and also goes with reverse, and also running lights. Shouldn't be too hard. I just gotta find some schematics and make sure that I'm hooking it up 100% right, because if I don't hook it up right, I could mess up the lights and also mess up the wiring on my car. So now, with that being said, because I'm tapping into the OEM wiring, you're not really supposed to do that. There's harnesses and everything else you can buy, but I looked up the wiring harness to do this job, which would be a trailer wiring harness. I looked up the wiring harness to do this job, and that would be a trailer wiring harness with a 4-pin connector, and then power, ground, backup, reverse, you know, all that good stuff. And you still have to tap it in to the OEM wiring. So I was like, well, why would I waste $70 on that harness when I can just tap it into the wiring myself and make plugs? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make plugs in the wiring, so I can just plug it in, and if the light ever goes bad, I can unplug it, plug a new one right on in. So we're gonna get started. For starters, being that we got to get under the car, stick this light bar underneath the car. It's cold outside. We're gonna make sure to apply a lot of heat, a lot of adhesion promoter so that it sticks very well, and we're gonna make sure to clean the spot that we want it to stick to. We could always pull it back off if we needed to, but I mean, hopefully it stays working, and hopefully we don't have to do that. We also need to lift the rear end of the car up just so we can make it easier on ourselves, because we're going to need to be laying underneath of there when we're sticking this thing and running the wires. So to make it a heck of a lot easier, we're just going to raise the back end of the car up, put it on some jack stands, and do what we need to do safely with some room. I would like to add that I got my 315s on. They're meaty. Oh my wordy. That's the rolled side. I still gotta do this side. But they're looking good. And I finally also got the rear end straight. I got a video on that for you guys, but it's a tough edit. It's I kind of got to talk over it because I had to do it at work, or I got to do it at work anyways. And so I wasn't able to, you know, up close record and whatnot. So I set it up and just recorded me doing the whole thing. So I'm gonna have to talk it over and Eventually I'll get it posted up for you guys. For right now, I can raise this vehicle up and show you guys the new suspension parts and put it on some jack stands and show you guys where I'm thinking about putting this light bar at.
All right, as you guys know, per usual, I like to go right to that rear diff.
Well, I came to the executive decision that we're taking it out to make the whole job easier. Sometimes more work is less work. Let's put it that way. If you get things out of your way and you don't have anything to bump into or to cause you problems, it's a lot smoother, makes things easier, makes things go better, and it causes for less time, less work in the end. So sometimes more work is less work. With that, I took that whole side out, set it aside, took the bottom out. And now we can access the access hole right here. This little rubber grommet. We can peel it back a little bit, slip them wires through the hole, and bring them up to the tail light. Tap into that wherever we need to. Probably going to be color coded for me, it looks like. But we're going to make sure of that. And other than that, oh, I had to disconnect this little vent hose for the battery here. Goes right there. Because it was just easier. And I undid this little clip here because then it allowed me to pull the grommet out a little bit further for a little bit more access through this hole. As you guys can see, I can fit my finger in there now. Probably even, yep, 2 fingers. So I'll have plenty of room to fit some wires through there. I'm thinking we take a coat hanger, run it down, try and find it somewhere down there, and then connect the wires to it and pull them up. But we're gonna have to route the wires properly to the coat hanger so that we don't burn them on the exhaust, and then we can pull them up through, and then we can probably follow this wiring harness up until we got to get it to separate and come up to here. We'll see what the best route is, because this is the main ground. We're not going to want to connect to that, but this harness over here might be pretty available. Goes all the way back, so yeah, might be a pretty good one. Might even be able to run them up and follow this whole harness up, eh? Now we're thinking.
As you guys can see, there's really no good spots other than on the bumper itself, which is totally fine, but we're just gonna have to clean it up and make sure that the wiring doesn't get burnt or nothing. What I've got here are little wire taps. Because it's inside of the car, I'm not too worried about corrosion and stuff, although I do have loom for the outside. This part right here, I can just tap into the wire, and then I can actually plug and play this light. For starters, I think we're going to try and get a coat hanger down the hole so that we can get these wires routed properly, and then we can focus on getting them connected properly. And then we can clean up a spot, get some new, then we can clean up a spot, get some new 3M tape on this thing, and we'll be looking pretty good. I've got this braided style loom here. I don't got the plastic stuff with the slit in it because, well, I don't have any. I got this stuff here because it's free. I already had it. And, I mean, it's pretty good stuff. I don't see why it shouldn't work. Probably gonna be under the car for about a matter of 2 feet, so should be okay. We just gotta do this right. I got my little tiny wire cutters. I'm actually taking them and going upside down on this wire here. See how close I can get. I'm actually going upside down on this wire here, kind of making a little line all the way around it, you know, lightly. And then you kind of just pull up until the excess wire comes off. See? Yep. Take our wire crimpers here. Slide this little butt connector, is what these are called.
Slide that on. Get the butt connector in place. This is the small one, so you want to go with the small hole. Make sure you line it up good to where it's going to crimp that wire good. Then you get in there and crimp her down. Pull on it. Good to go. Now, the reason that I did that is because I know for a fact that this little tiny wire is going to need to be extended. Crimp her all the way down. Release. Good to go. Pull on both ends of the wire. Nothing's coming out. So now, because this is a butt connector, we can actually shrink all this stuff so that it can seal better. Helps it, but sometimes doesn't work. But preventative maintenance. There's faster ways to do this, but I got my little heat gun here because this is really all I've got. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's actually getting smaller, tighter to the wire, as it should. As you guys can see, this guy right here sealed good on this side because this wire is a little bit thicker, but because this one's thinner, didn't perfectly seal. But that's no problem. That's what our good friend our electrical tape is for. Now, some people don't seem to think so, but the way I see it, the tighter the tape, the tighter the seal. So, tight tape, better sealant, longer lasting, less work, less problems. Slipping this down in that hole past that grommet. Probably gonna have to bend it a little bit. Round it with the bumper here. Back through the grommet. A little bit of wiggle and finesse, maybe. Hopefully. Oh, yep, yep, yep. Oh, yep, yep. Oh. I don't like that metal sound down there, but I mean, we're in. Now I can pull this when my wires are connected to it, and now my wires will come up through, and then I can route them where I want. I can run the right turn wire across here, most likely, because there's wires. There's a wire here that I could zip tie to, and then there's wires here that I could follow along. And then we'll just have to go back behind that. Probably just a couple clips here and there, and we're gonna be lighting up the ground with this bad boy underneath the back of the car. I went inside and got me some insulated pants so I could stay a little bit warmer. And I got me a creeper because that is way nicer to roll around on the ground with. You know what I'm saying? Way, way better. I was sizing up the light though to see where I was going to put it, and there's really not much of a spot. I'm thinking the only spot that I can possibly put it is underneath here. I'm going to have to take this off, and I'm going to have to stick it behind this rear bumper. So I really don't think it's going to be doing all that much, but it'll still do something, and I think it'll be worth it. See if I can do that, and let's see if I can wire this light up or not. Might just waste the video, but told you guys I'd be getting bi-weekly at least uploads, and it's bi-weekly at this point, so we're gonna make sure to get this video up whether I do something or not. We're gonna make sure that I give it my best effort. Yeah, sometimes you can grab them just like that. I know you didn't see it. Sometimes you can grab them while they're still in there and just wiggle them right on out. Oh, look at that. This guy, let's hope it's a little bit easier than the last one, huh? It sure is. See, this guy right here is going to be super easy for you. Just pop it out. It's not tight by any means once you get that first center clip out. Might have spoke too soon. Oh, sweet.
There. Pop that last guy out of there. Oh, there's some dirt in here. Just so you know, there's some dirt in there. So what I'm thinking is, I'm gonna go to those braces right up there, try to stick it in 2 spots, and hopefully she sticks really good. Got the mounting points, that little peak deal right there. Got it all prepped up with rubbing alcohol and the new stick pads on the light. Same thing with the other side here, all prepped up and cleaned, and new stick pad. So, oh, and the wires are kind of ran properly. They're gonna go around that shield right there, and then you guys can see the little metal hanger. It'll be going right up there following them wires. I'm not gonna record this part because it's kind of a tough position, but the best way to get these things to stick is to actually heat the glue. Peel that red piece off, heat the glue up a little bit, and then stick it onto your clean part. Once that heat melts it down a little bit, it actually makes it stick better somehow. A lot better actually. All right, as you guys can see, got stuck up in there. It's kind of like really tucked in there, which might hurt the light, the amount of light, but being tucked up in there might hurt the amount of light, but any light is better than none. All right, not that I necessarily need to, but the smart thing to do, since I'm getting into the wiring now, is to disconnect the battery, right? So, just a little 10mm on top here. Loosen that puppy up, slide it off to the side, and that's all you need to do. As long as that's not touching that post, can't ground. Good. Now I can wire whatever I need to wire. While I was off camera, I got this back up. I got the grommet back in, and as well as the wires through the grommet, so that it can seal, the grommet can stay sealed properly in its hole. This is all loomed underneath, just outside of the grommet. Couldn't fit the loom through the grommet, so this is all loomed underneath and ready to go. Now we just got to get this stuff all hooked up to the proper wires, and we should be good to go. Well guys, looking at this wiring here, not exactly as long as I thought it was going to be. I wanted to route it back here along this and then up. I don't think I want to do that anymore because I want to be able to actually work on it. So I think I'm going to just run it straight up. All right, you guys, we're on to the last wire here, one that I pre-cut earlier with the green one. What we're going to be doing is we're going to run it along this line here, catch back up with these wires, and then we're going to go behind this, tap into that last brake light, and brake light / turn signal, and then this light should be good to go. Got it all hooked up, ready to go. Gonna hit the unlock button for you guys and show you guys what it does. Woo! And there's more functions too, such as reverse, blinkers, and brakes. But hells yeah, she's on there. Both sides are working. I don't know how much it's gonna do, but should look pretty good at nighttime. Probably can't see me too well because it's a bit darker out, but that's the whole point. Got it hooked up. I'm gonna remote start it. It'll be just the running lights that turn on, but I got the brake lights, reverse lights, and running lights to function. For some reason I couldn't get the turn signals to function, most likely because they're separate bulbs, but it still looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so really quick, here's unlock. Pretty bright, lights up the exhaust pretty good. I like it. And then lock her back up, remote start. looking mean.
Alright guys, I think we're gonna wrap this video up there. I think we could probably address the blinker situation another time, but I think it's gonna be not that easy, so we may not, but it works good, looks good, so I'm pretty happy with it. Just one thing I want to add about the blinkers really quick. While I was editing this video, I definitely noticed where it might have gone wrong, so we're gonna address that first before we address what I think is wrong with it. Being that it's separate bulbs, I think I'm gonna have to put some sort of diode in there to split it and give it power at separate times, but I'm not too sure how I'm gonna go about that. I'm not the best at wiring. I think we're gonna be starting on the HHR next weekend. Hopefully getting the motor out of it and splitting the engine and trans and doing the timing chains. So stay tuned, and thanks for coming back to the LS Logan YouTube channel.